Dr. Ransom. I teach saxophone lessons. There are lots of books and articles and videos about the saxophone embouchure and how it affects tone quality. There's been lots of great advice and instruction about breath support, tongue position, playing a concert A on the mouthpiece, etc. This video specifically addresses the formation of the flat and pointy chin, why it's important, and how to achieve it. Too many teachers seem to think that either you've got it or you don't. And if you can't do this easily, then they just give up on you. Well, I've found that practically everyone can do this with a little guidance and effort. If you're having trouble forming the flat pointy chin, then you've got to use a mirror. This has been mentioned in plenty of other lessons and articles in classrooms, but for many of us, this point is not made clear enough. You've got to use a mirror. I've taught thousands of lessons, and for about 2/3 of my students, they simply cannot tell whether their chin is flat and pointy without a mirror. It worked for me. For 20 years, I tried to get my chin right, and one day I just happened to be practicing in front of a mirror, and I saw it. In all those years, I never thought of using a mirror, and if my teachers ever told me to, they must have just glanced over it real quick, because I never thought it was all that important. It was a revelation, a miracle. I swore I would tell everyone. So 25 years later, here I am to tell you all about it. The students in these pictures had varying degrees of success without a mirror, and some of them were able to make the adjustment just by seeing a picture or a short video of their chin. A few were able to feel their chin with their fingers. Some were able to do this without even looking, and in rare cases, it was just natural. Other students were never able or willing to fix the issue. Why is it so important to get this embouchure anyway? Why does it improve your tone? Well, this embouchure minimizes the area of contact between the lip and the reed, allowing the reed to vibrate more freely. It's natural to press the lower lip up against the reed in the attempt to control it and to stop the squeaking. But in reality, it only takes light pressure and a very small point of contact to accomplish this. Please keep in mind that we are not talking about jazz embouchure. That's a whole nother discussion, and it has been covered widely in books and on social media. So if that's what you're looking for, well, that's not really what this video is about. We're here to talk about the classical saxophone embouchure. So how do you do it? How do you get your chin flat and pointy? Most saxophonists seem to think you can just do it by thinking about it, but many of us can't tell what our muscles are doing or even figure out which muscles to use. The way I got my chin to cooperate was by biting my lip and then trying to pull my lip out using the chin muscles, like this. Actually, the first time it happened, I was practicing lipping down a middle D, and I just happened to look in the mirror. I began always looking in the mirror, and after a few tries, I could feel it without looking. Go ahead and try that now. While you're at it, put your saxophone together. Pause the video. I'll wait. Okay, first play middle D and lip it down. Look in the mirror. That might not work, but it's worth a try. If not, then try biting your lower lip and then pulling down with the chin muscles and see if it gets flat and pointy, like this. If it doesn't work the first time, try again or get creative until something clicks. Don't give up. Okay, once you get that, put the mouthpiece in your mouth and do the same pulling down motion. Keep looking in the mirror. Hold it there for a few seconds so it doesn't feel totally strange. Then blow. You might not get any sound at first. If not, then you'll have to experiment with jaw pressure and with how much mouthpiece is inside your mouth, or where your lip is contacting the reed, in other words. If the air can't get through, it's because you're pressing the tip of the reed up against the mouthpiece, closing the tip opening. Decrease the jaw pressure to open the gap. If you have too much mouthpiece in your mouth, it'll squeak or just sound horrible. You'll need to experiment to get just the right spot and just the right amount of pressure on the reed. Or it might just work for you the very first time. Everyone is different. It helps to understand how the mouthpiece is designed and the way it interacts with the reed. When the reed is clamped onto the mouthpiece, it's in contact with the mouthpiece from the bottom of the reed to about 1 inch from the tip. At this point, the mouthpiece curves away from the reed just a little bit so that there's a gap between the tip of the reed and the tip of the mouthpiece. That's called the tip opening. The reed gets thinner towards the tip, which is almost paper thin and very delicate, and that's why you should never touch it with your fingers or anything besides the tip of your tongue. Anyway, if you press right here with your jaw, the tip of the reed will bend toward the tip of the mouthpiece just a little bit, and that narrows the tip opening. This is necessary for the system to work, but you have to be careful not to press too hard or it'll sound squeezed, and that's no good. If you press at the very tip, it closes the tip opening, resulting in no sound at all. Now, if you press right here, the reed won't bend at all because it's already touching the mouthpiece at that point. This will probably squeak. The closer you get to the tip, the less pressure it takes to bend the reed. Also, the closer you get to the tip, the less the reed is allowed to vibrate freely. Your lip touching the reed should control it, not muffle it. If your lip covers too much of the reed, that's because it's all smushed up against the reed, and this just ruins the tone quality. If you keep your lip thin and press with just the right amount of pressure on just the right spot, then you get beautiful clear sound and no squeaks. It takes a lot of practice to get a great tone, which is why teachers like myself recommend doing long tone exercises every day. It only takes a minute, but it's the best way to get your embouchure perfect. Now, this brings up another very important point, maybe the most important, and that is that you have to listen all the time. If you're doing everything right and it still sounds bad, then you're not doing everything right. That doesn't mean you give up. It means you keep trying until you find the right formula. It could be a cheap mouthpiece or a bad reed that's holding you back. But no matter what, the flat-pointy chin matrix is a necessary element on the path to success. Of course, there's a lot more to it, and I'll definitely make more videos that cover this subject from different angles. If you want personalized attention, you can sign up for private Zoom lessons with me. You can take as many or as few as you like, no obligation, and the first lesson is free. Just send an email to the address in the description and let me know. I'm not expensive. Thanks for listening, and please like and subscribe.